Hi guys, so I'm doing a reading tonight that's a little bit sort of unexpected, I guess. And I feel like I have something to tell you about what's going on, okay? And I've been feeling this for a few days now, or especially I don't know since when exactly, but almost like an acceleration. You see that there's a lot happening, but I almost feel like this acceleration of everything. And I know it's hard for us to deal with everything that's going on. And I also sense among obviously some of the people in the Patreon group, but I assume that also means that's representative of the audience at large, that there is sort of like a fear. Some people are scared, um, and um, and there's obviously a lack of clarity because we're dealing with so much instability. So I've also, and I'm feeling because there's something happened about with the thing with doing readings with my eyes closed that it's kind of I'm picking up on that more again. So I may do the readings a little bit shorter, but also include the eyes closed. Okay. And so I just have the sense that like I have to tell you that this everything is accelerating and it's almost like in the spirit. This is like it sounds I am a little bit hesitant to say it because I love looking at the cards and all the information, but I'm getting the sense that like from the spirit world, like there's this almost like a centrifugation feeling or something where like they are accelerating as a means to almost like really like a centrifugator of like bad things or something. Okay, so it's like almost like time is I don't know how to explain it. It's like this feeling that is like everything is literally up in the air. Okay, so that it's like now it's being played out in the spirit world or something like that. I don't know how to explain it. It's like it's there's a lot of stuff happening behind the scenes, not just behind the scenes, but in like the other world or whatever. I know I just wanted to say it sounds crazy, okay, what I'm saying, but that's it. Okay, so I wanted to also ask, I guess, the spirits and everything, okay, what is, because again, I sense a lot of people are scared, okay, about this lack of clarity. So I just want to know what is the best way to deal with this, the fear that happens, and as well as the fear mindset that's also being pushed upon us in this time of great instability. Okay, so I'm gonna do three card positions. And then I'm going to close my eyes, guys, because I feel like for some reason I feel like there's information, okay, to come. And today is Wednesday, May 16th. Okay, so let's do that. Okay. All right. Okay. Okay. Oh. Guys, these I was shuffling and these cards came out, and I feel like I have to tell you about them. Okay. It's a little. This table is not as big as the other ones, but because they came out, I feel like they are related actually. Um, if I look at these just alone, okay, this is like star, meaning I see the star card as spiritual alignment, being in the right spiritual path. Lovers as this is literally a card of soulmates. I think of it as our connectedness, union with every like the sense of love in a more spiritual sense. Okay, and then disappointment. So essentially, clinging to the way of the good or the way of whichever, I don't know, you don't need to have a religion, but if you know what I mean, willing the good and wanting the best for everyone, okay, trusting that, understanding that we are all connected can help us deal with the time of disappointment, okay? Not everything is lost, okay? This is the two cups here indicate that, okay? So let's see again, what is the best way to deal with this moment of change and also this fear mindset that seems to be um, propagating and trying to distract people, okay? Connect, yeah. It's interesting. It's saying something I think relatively similar. This is a card of a deal, meaning on a simple sense, this is also commitment. Okay, commitment to spiritual values or to yes, to I think that's it. Commitment to understanding that you are part of the you're part of the commitment of creating this new world, but you have to commit, right? You have to either meditate or pray or execute in the sense, meaning by execute I mean you have to imagine and practice this. Not I'm not saying this is not a moral judgment or anything, guys. I'm just saying in the sense of like what you think is also powerful. This is what it's saying. Okay, so all right, now here we have the heart, which is very close to this. Again, the connectedness, commitment to the connectedness, commitment to love in the religious sense, okay, in the spiritual sense, will help us navigate the stress. The mice is stress, essentially, and loss. Okay, so any stress, again, here, the disappointment, commit to love. Like, I don't mean that obviously in a romantic sense, okay? Okay, so just this. Short illness, interesting. Okay. Short illness, I think here means rest. Okay, it's rest in a way. This is like also one meditating. Okay, close your eyes and look inside, look inwards to find happiness, right? It's, I think, essentially create the kingdom within. Okay, and this is people in have power. But I think if you think of power on a simple scale, it's like, I don't know, guys, I don't know the Bible super well, but it's like you can find the kingdom within. So this is the high honors. You're the king of, like, if you look inwards, you find the happiness within and the power within. Okay. So even, I guess, I'm going to just do the Latana cards last, but what I get from this too, it's like, even when everything looks, when we open our eyes, the world is really, looks terrible, we have to build this better kingdom inside. We have to work in the sense of envisioning the things that we want to happen, okay? The things that we think. I've been thinking about this a lot, actually, guys, but let me just finish these 3 cards and then we'll talk about it, okay? All right, so let's see here. Oh, interesting, again, the fedelta, upright, so the dog here again. Keep at it, okay? This is the deal. Like, okay, so it's like, don't, like, it's upside down. So, I mean, make sure that you really are committed to this loyalty to the values that you believe in. And this is the Dottore card upside down. So I think that would overcome any problems, because the Dottore upside down, Dottore upright, you'll see, I don't think you can see all of it. Dottore upright is solution, okay? So when it's like this, I think it means it becomes a problem, the solution is not right. So essentially, your commitment to the spiritual values and to looking inside and projecting the values even in your mind, and understanding that we're all connected, that to look at the values that matter, create happiness. But you have to be committed. It's a warning. Like, you have to be committed. You have to exercise commitment, right? And here, and this will create, will be the means to overcome these problems, okay, in the world. So, but you have power to overcome these things you see. So I think alone, guys, this is like, this alone, it creates, this is kind of quite powerful. But let me get here closer. I want to, just because I said before, when this first started, I'm going to close my eyes, okay, and I'm going to see if there's any message or something, more information, okay, for us. Okay, so tell us how to handle this time of great acceleration, a lot of chaos, a lot of entities wanting to push the fear mindset onto us. Saying, when we come to, when we come into this world, the task of every person is to understand the difference between the dark and the light. And the dark always wants to obscure the light. It sounds very simple, but that's what is happening. When you understand that the way to happiness for humans is to search for the light and to open up for the light. And even in life, you must always go in the sun or you perish. You need sunlight, literally. You also need that spiritually. The way to do this is to look inward and to understand that fear, when you embrace fear, when you when you believe in the images that are being shown that constitute the manifestation of fear, you are automatically looking away from the light, because you can only do one or the other. So if you believe these illusions, not to say that there's horrible things that we see, these things are happening indeed. However, the motivation for them is fear and hatred. So the best way to counter them is to believe. It's like when you close your eyes, it's giving me an example actually that I've been thinking about. I was very upset with the images of the Palestinian, the children and being shot and the numbers of dead people in those images. And it's saying, instead of being so upset about that, the best way to do it is to imagine all of those souls embrace a place where everybody can live together. Imagine that love in a spiritual sense overcomes hate, and that when you look at someone suffering, or you can transform that suffering in your mind by projecting, almost like praying visually, the the outcome that you want to see for that person, their circumstance, and so forth. The change that's happening in humanity right now is that we're understanding our spiritual power more and more, and the spiritual power is much greater than the power of darkness. But it's only when we understand the spiritual power that can we really grow. And sometimes you do have to believe in those dark ideas in order to understand the difference between the dark and the light. So it's saying, in terms of the Trump administration, there's a great convergence of darkness here. Many countries, many people, many high-level dark entities are connected in trying to make this happen. And there is indeed a much stronger work from the spiritual side to make sure we transcend to the next level. And this is what we're seeing. I think they are fighting. It's almost like dying insects. They fight it, like dead, dying snakes or scorpions. But try to always look beyond that whenever you believe that a negative outcome is about to hit us, you have to always believe, and you have to almost pray those things into. No, pray is not even the right word. It's almost like you have to clearly envision the outcome that you want, the positive outcome, instead of wasting your energy in hate, in outrage, or being upset or crying or anything. Just project the thing that you want to see for the people. For example, if you are very upset about the cuts in healthcare, you could project everyone having fair access to healthcare and how much happier everybody would be. So that's kind of how it is. Instead of letting the energy be wasted on that, not wasted, but sort of like be on a lower level, try to raise it higher. Okay, and it's also saying, I'm not opening my eyes, guys. Now I'm seeing like, what is it? Yeah, it's saying that, okay, so that the whole thing, they want us to almost like, it's showing. It's funny, when I was younger, I used to do that. Like, if you do this with your hands, you can feel the energy, okay? So it's sort of like the dark energies want to like lower our vibrations so that they can have more power. But when you can imagine how, for example, the example I gave, like imagine people being healthier and so forth, then you give strength to the positive vibration. I know it sounds so hopeless and so horrible, everything that's going on, but the truth is, so yeah, not the truth, but it's sort of like that's what it's showing. It's like we are not aware of that we have power, and it doesn't just mean political power. It means that we have to work conscientiously to project the things that we believe are fair. Okay, so this is the work. And I think when we feel overwhelmed, to really close your eyes and look inside and project the outcome that we want for the world, or like fairness, or just, it can be very basic. Okay, it doesn't have to be very detailed or anything. So even if it's like, oh, you could say, oh, it's not quote unquote reality, but the reality, it's showing you the reality that we see is the reality that someone or a group of people have willed to some degree. So you're choosing not to exercise the reality that they want. So it seems like we have to be conscientious and aware of the choices that we make when we think specific things. So that's the answer, guys. Okay, how to handle this time of great change. It's really going inward. Try to meditate the outcome that you believe is right, the outcome that is in the work of the good. Okay, that creates the good for most people, for the majority, not just the majority, right? But I don't even get into philosophy, but essentially, if you will the good, it's immutable, right? It's not circumstantial. Okay, so that's a simple way to put it. And just kind of like how to imagine an outcome where the good is essential, the good is stable. It's not a circumstantial, it's not a right, it's really the essence. So that this light, it's essentially pure light, right? So imagine those things and it helps us stabilize, but it's showing again this enormous, I feel the sense, guys, lots of different vibrational levels and live almost like, have you seen the movie American Beauty? There's like the plastic bag floating, kind of like that. Instead of feeling like you're kind of up and everything is up in the air and it's like up and down, up and down. It just you project the stability that you want to see, and you learn how to create that at least for some part of the day. Okay, I know for me, when it's overwhelming. I think for me, some specific things, especially the Palestinians situation with Jarida and Ivanka. Okay, looking at that is just so sickening to me. It's like, it makes me so angry. But I think the best way for me, I've been thinking about this lately, is like, oh, I'm imagining helping the families. Okay, imagining a good outcome for them, imagining the comfort, even in spite of the pain, to all of them. And I think even yesterday, I could barely sleep. I saw these images of like torture, like soldiers, Ukrainian soldiers. It's like, oh my God, it's like so overwhelming to me. So, so I basically imagine like light, like the God's energy of love embracing all of them, and as they're being imprisoned by the Russian occupations. Okay, so anyway, so it's like very sad, but you know what, I feel like that gives me a sense of control over this. So that's it. Okay, so I'm gonna stop here. I don't want to make it too long. Okay, oops. All right, I have these like funny alarms or whatever. Okay, all right. Okay, bye guys, good night.